So once again, good evening. I'm invited. Thank you very much. Awesome, Linda. Thank you. Yes. So this evening is going to be an awesome time, and I know you're going to love it.
Oh,
If only you are able to stay through to the end, you enjoy the section, because this thing got me glued for 12 solid hours, and I bet it. I was caught and I was hooked up based on the information that I was
What's
unraveling.
that foolish guy doing?
I beg, mute your microphone. If your microphone is open, kindly mute your microphone so it doesn't become a distraction to others. Okay. I think everybody's microphone is muted now. Thank you very much. All right, right. So, like I was saying, this took me a whole lot of time. Actually, I'm not the originator of this information. I got it from the Elite community, so I have to credit the source of the information. And it happens to have been on the community which I'm part of, which most of us are part of, even if not all, most of us are part of. And I can't recall exactly who shared the information, but someone shared the information. And for 3 weeks now, I've been privy to access the information, but I wasn't having time enough. So upon, I think I saw a few status, then I did an inquiry. So I got the first link to the source of the information from a friend status who is also uh, a partner and a member of the elite community. So I decided to check into this. Yes, I decided to check into this, and a moment. Okay. So I decided to check into this and realized that it was a good thing. Okay. And why is it a good thing? That's what I'm going to expose for us to all have a look at going forward. So getting right into it, whatever we're going to talk about is in relation to investment, but of course, this is not going to be an investment advice. It is going to be education purposes. So if you see fit, if you think it's a good opportunity for you, you take advantage of it. If you think it is something you want to wait out, fair enough, you have to wait out. If it is something you need to research, you have to do your research on your own. And I think that is even the best option going forward. So whatever we're talking about today has to do with a firm that is known as, I think this disclaimer I've already spoken about it. The firm is known as ZENIQ, ZENIQ Technologies. It's actually a fintech company. And I believe most of us understand what a fintech company is. When we say a fintech, we are talking about a financial institution and a technological institution coming together or joined as one. So, financial technology, that is the fintech. So, when we say a fintech enterprise, it's basically an institution that deals with investment or financial instruments, but then it's technologically inclined. All right, it's technologically inclined. And currently, we see a shift, a global shift coming in. And as the world is evolving, we are also going into the fourth revolution, industrial revolution, in which digitization has highly been an influence, and everything is going digital, making the world even more global village as we used to know. And so, this industry has grown, it has really grown. And the mission of this industry or this particular company we're talking about, or this particular firm, is that they are trying to connect traditional banking with crypto. Right? That's something, one of the when I see the rarest of opportunities in the block space, where traditional institutions need to bridge the gap with the crypto in order to stay afloat or in order to remain in business. And we see how this has become a banter, and we see people playing chess around it on Twitter, and it's making price go up and down and all of that with the giant corporations. But then this particular firm is such that they are trying to bridge the gap between the traditional and the crypto, of which, in a nutshell, should you have crypto and you want it in the traditional sense of finance, it should be a thing that wouldn't have to go through series or multiple processes before you get to realize that. And that become a whole lot of challenge to especially those who are not educated on the system of blockchain to a certain level. And I think that is a common challenge we have currently with respect to the digital migration, because not everybody understands cryptocurrency, not everybody understands blockchain. And if someone should even invest in blockchain related projects, the person would have to be educated or tutored. And so that is the challenge the company or the firm is looking out to resolve. All right. And so what this slide is entailing has to do with what we have here as a summary. I wouldn't waste my time to go into the summary because I didn't prepare this slide. I'll just go straight to the point. No need coming to catch any attraction or attention right here. It's just the raw information and the raw facts we're going to expose and discuss going forward. All right. So this company, not only is it a fintech firm, it is also in partnership with commodities and investment firms like what we see here, OCS. OCS is one of the commodities and investment firms, which is one of the giants actually in Dubai. Okay, one of the giant firms in Dubai, and actually they are championing the whole progressing of this particular project or idea with respect to the ZENIQ Technologies innovation. And all of these firms are registered in Dubai. Okay, all of these firms are registered in Dubai. So currently, that what the screens you are seeing, the images you are seeing, happens to be the head office of both partners, that the ZENIQ and that of the fintech. This address, you can verify these addresses on. If you want to use Google, you can use Google to verify these addresses. Those that are computer genius or those that are and have an understanding with respect to satellite viewing, you can use this address coding to pinpoint the buildings that you are seeing on the screen, and I'll confirm to you that it is X. It is right now. A lot of people saw this and they had the concept that Revolut is a partner of this project. Revolut is not a partner. You can see the disclaimer right here. Revolut, which is a digital bank in essence. Juliet, you're welcome. Sorry, I just had to mute your mic.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, Revolut is really not a part of the firm. It was just used to explain what a fintech company or a fintech firm is. So, all of these firms you see in here are not partners. Disclaimer is rightly stated down here. So, you should take note of that. All right. Now, when you are looking at the partner ZENIQ is having, that is the OCS International Commodities and Investment, they deal with investment banking. That is one of their main products. Okay, and under that they have the asset management, commodity trading, arranging and advising, custody services. When we talk about custody services, you should consider something like Grayscale. For those who are into the block space and have a bit of knowledge, Grayscale is also into custody services. Like they hold the assets of their investors, and that's why they're able to introduce other products and all of that. So this particular firm does or offer or render same services. Okay, and it's also into investment management services. It's also into bank instruments with a whole lot varieties of it. You can do your own search on this particular firm once we are done from here. And of course, this bank itself has its correspondent bank as Julius Baer and ING. You can also make your verifications on these two banks. You know, when we are saying correspondent, for instance, if you are in Ghana and you want to send funds to maybe Canada, US, whatever international country you want to send your funds to from your bank, or probably want to do a deposit from your bank, there's what we call SWIFT. They would want to request a SWIFT. Aside the SWIFT, they also want to request a correspondent bank. That is to say that UMB is not in that particular country. So there should be a bank that will serve as the bridge for that transaction to take effect. And so this two banks serves as correspondent bank to the OSC, International Commodities and Financial Institution firm. All right, so that is something to take note of. Like I said, you can make your own inquiries with respect to that. Now, when you look at this particular slide, it says that billions of people, okay, says that billions of people worldwide can be seen as a target group for ZENIQ. Why is it so? We'll come to understand this shortly. Now, it is because of the added value. So we are yet to understand the added value ZENIQ has given. All right, please, if your microphone is open, kindly mute it. If your microphone is open, kindly mute it so the background noise doesn't become a distraction, so we don't spend much time here. All right, so it is due to the added advantage they've added to the block space, or to the bridging of the traditional to that of the virtual. And for those who have been on some of my trainings or some of my presentation would have heard me saying that blockchain is basically the digital or the traditional going virtual, and it is exactly so. It is exactly so. Now, it's saying that they are combining traditional banking and crypto, and that is the added value they are talking about here. And we are yet to understand how that is an added value with respect to their tokenization system. And so, most people also have the conception that blockchain is just for a group of people. Okay, they have the conception that blockchain is for a group of people, but blockchain go beyond that. Blockchain is way above or beyond what we consider as cryptocurrency, because all of these companies you are seeing here in their categories like logistics, health, insurance, energy, real estate, trade, government, internet of things, and travel, and banking and finance, all of these firms, one way or the other, are participating in the blockchain space. You might wonder, what would Barclays be doing in blockchain space? When you go to Binance and you want to trade, especially when you're in the UK, and you want to trade your coin to fiat, Barclays is one of the banks they use. I happen to have done that particular transaction using any DEX, connecting with someone in UK and operating from his PC. So I happen to have that first-hand experience with Barclays. And all of these institutions happen to interact with cryptocurrencies and, of course, blockchain on that basis. And that's what CZ had to say about blockchain. And so the concept of blockchain goes way beyond what we have assumed it to be or how we have limited it to be. So the earlier we change our perspective and the earlier we broaden up our scope, the better it will be for us to position ourselves for the future with respect to the evolution that is coming. Now we get to the ZENIQ blockchain, which is actually the project that is in discussion at the moment. Now the ZENIQ blockchain is not like any other blockchain. Okay, we have the Bitcoin blockchain, we have the Ethereum blockchain, we have the Binance blockchain, we have that of the Tron blockchain, and all of these blockchains have their uniqueness. Okay, for those who have taken time to understand the blockchains would understand this aspect better. But blockchains are rated or are valued based on their weight, their consensus, their transaction, and a few factors. All right, how they are able to handle transactions, how their other blocks are done, and a whole lot of things goes into the block space. Now, ZENIQ blockchain, one, is decentralized, like any other blockchain we've heard of. Now we come to understand how deep is its decentralization, because most blockchains are decentralized but still has a form of centralized authority attached to them. In essence, there are blockchains that are into operation, and with their operations, you realize that there are what we call token sales. These token sales, you realize that there is what we call the team volume, marketing volume. All of these volumes are tokens that are reserved by developers. So if they hold such volumes in custody and the rest is flown out, you can truly 100% say that it is fully decentralized. That is why most people don't even fancy XRP, because it is more of institutional related blockchain token than a decentralized related blockchain token. So when you look at it from that basis, realize that no blockchain is fully decentralized, because for a blockchain to hold a firm grip or a good strength, it has to have what we call the consensus must be strong. And for you to hold the consensus, then validation, forgive me for using terminologies, all right, but that is the best I can. So for a blockchain to be strong, the validators must commit a portion of their token to the network for it to be strong. And so all those tokens, they can take it out. The moment they take it out, the blockchain, the nodes might not be able to stand, it might collapse. And that is where you can boldly say that arguably blockchains, some of them or most of them, are not fully decentralized. But with ZENIQ blockchain, why my passion currently is based on the discovery is that ZENIQ is 100% decentralized. One of the reasons is that no developer of the ZENIQ blockchain holds a token. 99% of the token are in the state of minting. What that means is that right from the beginning, if you need the token, you need to mint it, like the way BTC started in mining. So if you need the token, you have to mint it. So it will only be in the hands of developers when they buy back from the market. Right, when they buy the token back from the market, that is the only time they would have access to the token. And that way is to say that it is a fair game, because if you need it, you also must buy it, including the developers. And 1% out of the 100% is pushed into staking. There's a difference between staking and that of minting. All right, for those who understand, staking majority or categorically happens on proof of stake networks, and minting or mining happen on proof of work network. And that tells you something with this particular blockchain. It encompasses the two. ZENIQ blockchain is a fusion of proof of work and proof of stake. All right, and the ZENIQ blockchain is designed such that all network is able to work on the blockchain. That is to say that you don't need to be wrapping tokens. For instance, if you want to move Polygon to let's say BSC, you need to wrap it. If you want to move one token to another network, you need to wrap it. But with ZENIQ, you don't need to wrap any token. You can trade on the go. This idea, there's only one project that I have come close that probably had something closer to this idea, and that is Uniswap. But that project couldn't survive because they lacked the expertise. So they couldn't bring it to fruition. That project would have been a solid one, but they couldn't build it like the way their white paper claimed. And so when you look at this particular blockchain, you don't need wrapping. You can interact. It's more or less like going to the market and being able to access all tokens at a go, like entering into a traditional market and buying tomato, buying buckets, buying mattress, buying bell, buying cassava, in fact buying everything in the same market. That is how ZENIQ blockchain is designed to operate, and actually is working in that perspective now. That also aside, the ZENIQ blockchain has 50,000 transactions per second. When you are talking about transaction per second, Tron is one of the fastest blockchains, having the highest transactions per second, but currently ZENIQ is holding the highest transaction per second. Those who are much into blockchain related activities can do a deeper search and will understand that. I think Tron has about 24,000 transactions per second. I think BTC is having like 14,000 transactions per second, but ZENIQ is having 50,000 transactions per second. That is to tell you that this is not like the regular where there will be block congestion, because when there's a block congestion, that is when the gas rate begins to increase. And surprisingly, this system is designed such that the gas cost is fixed. When you are using their stable coin, it's fixed on one cent. We'll get into that. Okay, we'll get into that. So that is how decentralized ZENIQ blockchain is. And so as this blockchain gets to the public or to the masses, it will blow off. I can bet on this. It will blow off, provided the developers are still holding on to whatever they have started. And I strongly believe it will become something that we would reckon BTC, if not in the future, the near future or the far future. It will become something of value closer to BTC, and I'll show you why. And I think I've explained a part of it, why it will be like that, because like BTC, it was minted and it has halving, and this has the same technology. All right, now how would you then be able to mint the tokens? Okay, unlike BTC where you would have to set up rigs, mining rig, having the cost of electricity and a whole lot, there are a whole lot of ways to mint ZENIQ block tokens. And this is one of the flagship products that the firm has designed. This, as you are seeing it, is not a tablet. This is a masternode on its own. A masternode hardware, which you can just make a purchase of it and it begins to mine for you. And amazingly, these are the features of the hardware wallet. It is also a hardware wallet, which is also a masternode. And aside the screen, I don't really consider the screen, but we look at the head and the core processor. It is 6 core processors. That should tell you how fast it will run. Because even devices with 4 core processors are something to reckon with. It has this space, and of course it's portable. There's no need for any KYC, or you don't need to have the fear of a centralized authority, in as much as a firm is developing it. Why do I say that? When we are talking about crypto assets, there's a particular phrase that your key is your money. No key, no funds. If your private key is not in your possession, the money is not for you. And that is to say that if your money is on a centralized exchange, for instance, Binance, OKX, Huobi, Hotbit, in fact, name them. Once you don't have access to the individual wallet's private keys, those funds are not for you. The moment the company faces any legal charge and freeze, your money freezes. You don't have access to them. It is gone. But with this, you have access to your private key, and it is to you only. There's no third party having ownership to the private key. That is to say that you are not only the holder of the token, you are also the owner of the tokens. Okay, you're also the owner of the tokens. And like I already said, it's a masternode. Now, when there are a lot of masternode, I think I would have to make time and teach on masternode. Masternodes are ways of building passive income in crypto. There was a particular masternode on energy and also on Midas. For those who have heard of Midas and probably couldn't participate, maybe due to the time, Midas is also a masternode that has made a whole lot of waves. Maybe another time we'll talk about masternodes. But basically, masternodes are not the regular kind of nodes. As the name goes, it's the master of the nodes. So you do your minting, you do your mining right at your own convenience. They are the cloud masternodes and they are the hardware masternodes. And this particular product is one of the hardware masternodes. All right. Now, once you have the product, you begin to mine. And I think based on the estimation of the token volume, it will mint for 20 solid years. That is crazy. Based on its halving, it will mint for 20 solid years. So should you have access to this particular masternode hardware and you position it, all you need is your internet and your regular battery charging once it goes on the low. It doesn't really take much based on the specifications it has. Once you set it up, you are good to go. You are mining, you are making passive income for 20 good years. And should you choose to hold those tokens, consider this being BTC at the time of 2020, and you were privileged to have started mining BTC till now. That would have been crazy. Myself personally, I happened to have started mining BTC back then, but I didn't really understand the concept of blockchain. So I was just playing with Satoshis, and eventually don't even recall my private keys to some of the wallets I used in mining. So all of those Satoshis are gone. But with this, there's the knowledge that we can maintain whatever we have started. Okay. Now, aside it being a hardware, it has this maximum security as it outlined here. Aside its nature of decentralization, it is also regulation free. So whether an exchange faces charges or not, your tokens are safe with you. Right? Your tokens are safe with you. You can see it is also having like I think I've explained all of this. You can as well buy and sell directly with it. You can do direct transactions with it, even into fiat. So that is how they've designed that particular product. Now, aside that, there is the cloud-based aspect of it, which of course you set it up, you start your miner, and it also lasts that same duration, 20 years. The only difference is that based on the packages, based on the hardware cost, based on that of the cloud cost, will determine the amount of tokens you mint per day. And of course, the minting is on a daily basis because it's a node, right? So it doesn't rest until the 20-year duration is up. All right. And of course, like I explained earlier, real-time fiat transactions and crypto transactions. Okay. And you can use it for point of sale transactions. So this is not just any project, but a project that has considered the traditional way of doing things in terms of finance, and it has modernized it with the sophistication of blockchain and has made it completely digital. In other words, your bank in your hand. Okay, you don't need Binance to liquidate. You don't need Binance P2P to liquidate your coins to what? To fiat. You do that right on your own device, right on your own cloud. Right. That is how the system is designed. So the use cases I'm seeing with this particular technology is way mind blowing. Because when you look at Bitcoin's technology is for payment systems, and that is that medium of exchange payment system. And currently, it is attaining what we call the oh, sorry, I just missed this term. There's this particular term. There's a particular term I want to. Okay, when I record the term, I will come back to that. Okay, yes, it becoming a store of value. The context of storing of value, you might see it as a regular thing, but it holds a whole lot of weight, in a sense that fiat can't be a store of value. It is just a unit of exchange. But BTC is a store of value because there's no more supply, but fiat there can be a lot of supply. So the value cannot be stored in fiat, because the moment there is excess of the supply, the value itself, which is stored in a particular unit, dwindles drastically. But for BTC, supply remains the same. With respect to price volatility, that is not what we mean by store of value. So BTC is becoming a store of value. But when you compare this particular project with BTC, you realize that this particular project has some amazing future going forward. And I will let you understand why the need for you to be part of this project. Right. Aside all of these things, they are also looking at establishing their exchange. Okay. No, the 20 years is not for you to wait that 20 years. No. Even in a day, you can still spend from your masternode. The 20 years is the duration for the product you've bought or the investment you've made. It's more or less like buying a particular investment package, and they are saying that the package will last for 20 years. That is what I mean. I think that there's some interference. There's some interference. Kindly check your microphones, please. All right. So aside that, ZENIQ is also developing an exchange where they are going to do transaction like any other regular exchange. And all of this play a part in what we are talking about now, and it will all make sense once I'm getting closer to the end of the whole thing. Now, aside their exchange, it is IBAN compatible. Okay, it is IBAN compatible. You can check on IBAN. And the fees. I think I've already talked about the fees and the cost of transaction, which is 0.01 euro, which is less than 2 cents if I'm to convert it to dollar. Less than 2 cents, which is fixed actually. So unlike, for instance, you make a transaction on, maybe you don't take notice, but you place a trade on any exchange, try and take notice of the transactional cost. It is crazy, especially when you buy on market, unless you use a limit order. That's why most of elite traders don't trade on market basis. They would want to use limit, because the higher the volume of your trade, the higher the charge that is being taken from the transaction. For instance, I did a conversion of a token to USDT, and that was like $213. I got $203. That tells you that $10 was taken as a charge on a centralized exchange. That is crazy. But I needed the cash at the time, so I had no option than to use a market order to do the transaction than to wait on a limit order. Right. So you might not take notice of it, but it happens. So from today, try take notice of all of that. But with this centralized exchange, their fee is going to be fixed on less than 2 cents. This is amazing. And aside that, we will come to understand another amazing part of it. Okay, and it says that all popular token every token that is popular on the market will be traded there, and assets exchanges of all kinds, coins and tokens. Now this is going to be crazy. When you check Binance has delisted some of the stock tokens. It's because it yet don't have the capacity to handle such stock or tokenized tokens. Binance is currently the leading exchange, and if it is not having the capacity to handle some of these tokenized tokens, then you should understand a firm that is building a system that is going to tokenize assets is crazy. It's crazy. So the most important thing is taking position whilst it is still early, and I'll let you understand why it is still so early. I'll make a few comparisons. Like I said, I spent the whole 12 hours on this research, so I know exactly what I'm saying. So let's move on. Now, a few comparison that was done based on the slide that was developed is that, I think this is in Spanish. Sorry, I missed the English version. This is Spanish, but this particular inscription here is volumes in 24 hours. That is transaction per 24 hour. And we all know the charge on DEX exchanges, the slippage. Now, if Uniswap performs 1.6 million transactions in 24 hours, imagine the profit Uniswap is making in 24 hours. If Cake is performing a transaction of 1 million a day, this is 1.6 billion. Sorry for the error, not million, 1.6 billion. You can imagine that is why Uniswap was able to do the airdrop and still give a whole lot of money to the people and never felt anything, because they have too much to use for marketing. And consider the transaction that is taking effect here. For ZENIQ, it is new, so we can't yet assume transaction per 24 hours. But imagine whatever their project vision, the mission is about, should they accomplish it in a couple of years, what their transaction within a day would be or would mean like. Now, these statistics on the price on Ethereum and that of BNB comparatively to ZENIQ token. Ethereum was around this price, that is the all-time low, that is in 2015, 6, 8. No, that's not the all-time low actually. I think the time it was listed, it had a different all-time low, I think 2 point something, 0.2 thereabout. And this is the all-time high in May. I think we all saw this. And you can see the growth rate from 2015 to 2021. Okay, that's about 6 years. Now, let's do another comparison here from 2017 to 2021, from 0.096 to 66. Now, this is the price of ZENIQ. Cake, the project of Cake is way different from ZENIQ. We all know Cake as a DEX exchange. Cake is not having all that ZENIQ is having. Uniswap is only a DEX exchange. It is not having all the products ZENIQ is having. So comparatively, do your own price expectations in 2022 and in the preceding years going forward. Now, I will give you a clue so you would have a fair idea as to what to expect. Going forward, this is where it gets more interesting. Okay, this is where it gets more interesting. ZENIQ as a fintech is also into digital banking, like Revolut. Okay, they're also into digital banking, and they make profit from all of these areas of operation. The product, that's the hardware sales, they make revenue from the hardware sale. They make revenue from their banking and their investments, and also their partnership. They make returns from their partnership because they provide services for their partners and get returns in as a return of as a reward. Returns as a reward. All of these coming in, we will see where all those revenues are directed to. Okay, you see where all these are directed to, and also they are not just only a DEX. Of course, they have the master node, so they have the master node. They are building the exchange. They have the financial institution that is on the traditional sector, So profit coming in from both ways. All right. So let's see what happens. This comparisons, I think I've done that already. You wouldn't waste too much time here. But I think there's something here we need to read. It is also limited. The token is also limited. I think the total tokens is 800 million. Okay, 800 million, but it is vested for 20 years before it's completely minted. That is to show you the level of scarcity the tokens would bring. Even before the major adoptions come into the market, the token will still be scarce. Okay, the token will still be scarce. And it's also having the technology of the halving. Okay, it's halves annually. So every year, unlike BTC, that halves, I think, on the 4-year duration, this halves each year. So each year, the volume of token that is minted is reduced by half for 20 years. So you can estimate the rate of scarcity the token is going to be generated. And aside that, it also has a burn technology. This is crazy. Is huge. So this is the structure of the halving. So I don't confuse others, I wouldn't go technically on this, but basically what you are seeing here is that once the coin produces particular this is depending on the block period. So this has to do with the year cycle. Each year it drops, but with the token itself, as a mint, it reduces by this volume. How is that possible? The device I showed earlier, that is a hardware masternode, it is, I think in total it is 15,000 in total. That is to say that they are spreading their masternode to 15,000 validators. This is huge. This is huge because even BTC validators we have about 9,000, but ZENIQ is building validators of 15,000, making it more decentralized and more stable. Okay, now aside that, as the hardware is being released, per each hardware that is bought, the token supply reduces. That is to say that this is a system designed for early bird and first movers advantage. So the earlier, the better it will be for you to mint more of the tokens and hold it and not sell in the interim. I know most people like to sell tokens when they see small profits. It's good to take profit, but when you have projects like this, you don't want to just waste the opportunity of the future. For instance, those that are holding BTC, regardless of the volatility of BTC price up and down movement, are still not in loss should they have been in the mining from 2010 or even 2015, even coming down to 2017, even 2020. Those that bought BTC at the end of 2020 are not in loss. So you can imagine what this ZENIQ token or ZENIQ project would bring. It is crazy. This is a market expectation or prediction with respect to the fintech. So this is how high the fintech is estimated or forecasted to have built in volume, $24 trillion by 2027. What would be your volume, or what would have been your amount in this forecasted estimation? The work would have to start from today. If you hope to be part of the 24 million trillion valuation, then I think the ball is in your court. And this is from the World Economic Forum. So it's not just any ordinary person saying it. These people are people with facts and figures, and they don't fail most of the time. Right? They don't fail. So if you are an investor and you are even a trader in the financial institution, you need to understand some of these big players and make sure you position right for them. Right? Make sure you position right for them. Now, this is another aspect of ZENIQ, the project of ZENIQ. This is one of the key areas of ZENIQ. ZENIQ is not only into crypto, they are bridging the traditional with crypto. Okay, they are bridging the traditional with crypto, and with that, they have the tokenization system. Kindly hold on, guys. All right. Sorry for the break. So, like I was saying, they have the tokenization system and they are going to tokenize real world assets. Real world assets. And you can see they are not only into the product of the masternode hardware wallet, but they are also tokenizing real estate stocks. This is huge, guys. Tokenizing real estate stocks or real estate as an asset on the block space is crazy. I hope you would make time to understand this side deeper, because this is just by the presentation. They are tokenizing, so in fact they can tokenize everything. That is to say, ownership is going to be tokenized, everything virtually. That is the goal of ZENIQ, and that is what they have started doing. And the profit that is going to come from this is going back into the ZENIQ project, which involves the token. Involves the token. Which involves the token. Now, this is the project roadmap. Okay. Amazingly, this project started in 2018. And how funny can it be? Most of the time, we are left behind. Sometimes when you go to YouTube to go and search on a video to upgrade your knowledge, you realize that the video have been uploaded like 6 months, sometimes 2 months, sometimes 6 years. And it's surprising how we are always late to information. And this company has been building right from 2018 and we had no idea. And that is the roadmap. They have been able to achieve all of this to this very end. That tells you that they are not joking. They are expecting to continue their move on to this very side. And some of the things to consider is the connection of the ZENIQ app to the hub. That is to say that the hardware can be connected to your mobile device. So you don't necessarily even have to carry it outside. You just can use your mobile device as a regular tool whenever you feel the convenience for it. And the tokenization also project begins in the third to fourth quarter of this very year. So just this year, the kind of innovation that is coming into the block space with respect to the ZENIQ blockchain is just amazing. Aside that, of course, the debit cards, which has become a thing for most of crypto projects now, they are also having a debit card which you can use with any ATM to withdraw your fiat, and you are good to go. Of course, the exchange, and this, I saw this and I was amazed. They are going to set up a university, ZENIQ University, for MBA. That is something that most projects have not considered. Most projects have not considered that. And this is a cardinal thing if a project will be able to be sustained, because they need to set the ball straight. They need to make sure people are educated well enough to handle the innovations. And that is one thing I saw with respect to their roadmap, and I fell in love with the project, aside all of the things I've shared so far. So this project to me is huge. Now, this is how their token, okay, gains value. So this is not like the regular crypto projects where we have the 5 basic factors to consider with respect to price action, like supply, demand, acceptance, usability, and all of that. But with ZENIQ, they have more. Aside all the 5, they have real world assets backing the tokens. Real world assets bringing in extra cash flow to increase the token value. And that is what I noticed on the blockchain. Developers are buying back the tokens that others have been able to mine, and they are selling because they are selling. They are willing to buy it back. Why? Because they know the vision they are having. And so they are buying back the token because they couldn't have any of the tokens unless we all mint. So if we are all minting, then it is a fair game. But because they understand what they are building, they are buying back some of the tokens. So it is the time for us to also secure the tokens for ourselves. And I'll tell you why this project, taking off even developers, is a project that I see so much promise. Okay, I see so much promise. And one thing that we need to look out here is that the profit sharing or the profit distribution is 100%. Everything that is generated goes back to the project 100%. This is crazy to token holders. So the profit or the revenue coming from their real world business project related to the blockchain comes back to the token holders. Like you holding a token and earning more of it with every transaction. This is another huge thing to consider. This makes it more decentralized. And so, how the token gain its value is what we see. The MasterCard, the product, the hardware wallet, the cloud, whatever revenue they are making goes back to the token. The profit they will make based on coin supply and demand on exchanges, transactions, and everything goes back to the token as liquidity. Fees from tokenization and every project that is going to be handled on the blockchain goes back to the token, strengthening the token and the ecosystem. So this is a token that has an ecosystem backing it. This is not just any ordinary project. This is not just any ordinary project. So these are some of valuations that have been done on an estimated basis, considering other industry related projects. But I will not spend too much time here. Normally, I don't want to look at projects like that. Okay, but of course, I'll share the slide. We can take time to go through them, look at the cumulative minting and all of that, right? And what you'll be able to make per day. Because what you see here is the forecast, the minting cumulative at the end of the calendar year, that is from February to February 2021, 2022. And 2022 to 2023, and it continue like that. So you realize that this particular year there's more tokens to be minted than the coming year, and it drops by the time. Okay, so the earlier you take position, the better your chances of securing more tokens. All right, and that is the valuation of the tokens, the breakdown of the tokens. Sorry, the breakdown of the tokens, and I think it's euro comparative valuations. So we can make time and check it, and they did the forecasting all into 2027. All right, so we can take time and go through all of that. I think this is the halving I talked about, so no need explaining it again. All right, now this is an aspect that is also intriguing. You know, most mining sites takes a lot of energy, a lot of electricity, and a whole lot of things to maintain it. But they have designed in-house hubs, okay, and each of this comes with its unique minting volume per day. So you see, this is the hardware. This is the only hardware product a client or a customer can purchase and hold and do the minting at home whenever necessary. That is right from the purchase once it gets activated to the next 20 years. And this is the in-house. This is a hardware, but you don't hold it. It is in their custody. So with this, they mint the tokens on your behalf because they need to maintain this housing rigs with energy and a whole lot of power, right? So each of them comes with its unique minting volume. Like you see, this is times 2 of what this would generate. This is times 4 of what this would generate, all the way to times 256. That is provided you are able to go in for this. That's how high you mint. For people who don't have that level, also can go in with this. You are minting half of what this would mint. Okay, and with 1/4 this value, that's 450 euro, you are minting 1/4 of what this 1000 hub would have minted, and it goes in that order. So 100 euro. All right, 100 euro is 1 out of 32 of what this would mint. Okay, so that is the packages. Now for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is to this value, I think even to a bit higher, you can do all of that on the cloud. But with this, with this particular product, this is a hardware. So with this, it will be shipped to you wherever you are once you are able to make purchase of it. Okay, once you're able to make, and the firm is credible to an extent that, as I saw it, normally I like to test. Okay, I like to test things, especially if it is something I'm going to share to a lot of people. I will have to test it to verify if it is worth it, because I wouldn't want to get someone involved in something that at the end of the day the person lose out on it. That is against my rules as an individual, and of course it will let people lose trust. One thing in business that we need is trust. If you don't have trust with your people, business cannot thrive. So I had to test. I tested this with 100 that's 100 euros, and I received an invoice. This is crazy. Let me open it up here. I received an invoice, so I had to download the invoice. That's it. I hope you can see my screen. If not, let me share. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
So that's the invoice. I've not seen a crypto related project that is boldly able to bring out an invoice like this. With this, if there is anything that goes wrong, I can sue the firm. This is crazy. That tells you the level of credibility the firm is having. I'm going to show you a little bit more. So it has every single information with respect to the company, and what even the purchase, the transaction, the shares I hold, every single information with respect to the date, the time I did this. And so should something go wrong, I can base on this to hold the firm accountable. So this is an investment that I can do with funds that I will not be afraid of losing it. This is crazy. They are really ready and in for business. And so this slide will end this slide here. Now I'm going to show you a few things that made me to even search more. When I got to realize that the firm was in partnership with the OCS, I started checking, I started digging into some of these. And let's read the headline here. Probably this site might be a blog, so we might not take this site to be a good one to consider. But it says that the UA-based ZENIQ founder wants to build a blockchain financial platform for the UA government. Now, this is crazy. This is for the government of Dubai. Guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Dubai has a track record. They always want to be at the forefront of affairs when it comes to technology, and they wouldn't back down on something they started. When we were in COVID era, I think Dubai introduced a blockchain related product that people were, I think, going into cinemas, doing shoppings with QR codes. And these people are always upping their game. And reading a bit more, the IBS. If you know IBS is a UK base. They are into financial regulations. IBS has also given their headlines on this, telling you that this is not just a joke. I will share all of this link just for your perusal. Go and read into them and fill yourself to the max. Okay, that was on the 21st. These firms wouldn't just post or bring out any update they have not done their verifications on. And aside that, I'm trying to open up some of the links I've checked so far. Don't know why this one is delaying. Let me see if I can refresh it. Well, there are more out there, so let me go. I just closed one. Let me see if I can restore from. So I was doing a search on the OCS and their locations, and all of their locations, they have Vienna, Moscow, London, Hong Kong, Singapore, Sydney. And that is the firm that is in partnership with ZENIQ. Trust me, they wouldn't come to joke if they don't believe in what they are doing. So I had to do my personal study on their partners to understand what their partners are. Because of course, show me your friend and I'll tell you your character. So you always want to do that due diligence and understand from that perspective. Let me see IBS. Let me see. This one couldn't open. Let me try to open it from here. All right. So ZENIQ launches groundbreaking blockchain tokenization platform in Dubai, and their partnership is with the ruler of Dubai. That's what I want to look out for. They have a partner with the ruler of Dubai. This is crazy. That's it. That's him. This guy. That's the ruler of Dubai. And they have partnership with him. Guys, this is huge. Checking from this one. Let me see if this one will open up. So it was all over. It was all over. The news kept coming. Like all the credible platforms are sharing the news. Now this is the agreement, their partnership agreement, and this image was taken when they signed the deal of partnership. This is crazy. For him to show his face, not just by word of bloggers writing the name up in a story, a cooked up story, but he's showing his face, it tells us something else. And currently, this is the price of ZENIQ. Guy, it's way cheap, but I won't buy. Do you know why? The amount I will use to buy, I will use it for either the hardware, wallet, the masternode, which will mine for 20 years, or I will use that to do a cloud mining, which is also going to last for 20 years. Reason being that if I buy and price should pump just in the slightest, as humans as we are always in need of money. I'll spend it. Sometimes you need to take drastic measures. And this coin is gradually gaining the attention it needs. When you check the block explorer, this token is already listed on Uniswap. It's already listed on Uniswap. You can see the version 3. Now, the current token holders is only 3,284. What does that tell you? There's more room. When you check some of the tokens, like, okay, I think Ethereum is already here. Ethereum, you might not be able to even get such information. But let me pick BNB. It means we are early to the game. Let me go to the Explorer and see. I don't think BSCAN will give me that information. But let me try and see. Token holders count so much with respect to projects and that of the valuation. Exactly, by minting. That is in my opinion. But if you have enough that you can do both by holding, but that is buying and also minting, do both. Okay, do both. Okay, I think this is BNB and this is its blockchain, so it wouldn't give you, unless you do on-chain analysis, you wouldn't see the token holders. So let me pick a different let me pick another coin. Sometimes when I'm in the midst of communicating, okay, Tengera came to mind. I forget about some of the tokens. So let's check. Currently, the holders of Vera is 30,000. So imagine with this current supply, and look at the supply of Vera. The supply of Veracity, where is it? The supply of Veracity, and we have 30,000 holders, and you check the number of transactions. Oh, sorry, I had to close this. Let me open it again. You check number of transactions, 232,000 plus, and this ZENIQ is a whole blockchain on its own, not a regular coin. It is a blockchain, and the transaction so far is 6,000. The potential here is very huge. This can be an investment of a lifetime. This is the gold mine I have been talking about, and this is what I have to share with you guys. Now let me end everything here and open up for questions, if there so be. If there is any question, let me know. If there's any question with respect to what I've been shared, if there's any challenge, anything you're not clear on, let me know. How to start mining, I will send a link to the group. I would have to do a video on how to go. I think there are a lot of videos. Probably I will just share those videos after I send the link. You can make your own choice, and it is way easier. I think I can even use the account I tested this morning. Let me see. Let me try to log in. Let me first share. Okay. So, and please, once you have any account online, make sure you check the security side. If it has 2FA, try and incorporate it. So let me just, that's just a caution anyway. So 1, 2, 5, 8, 2, 1. All right. So this is how the dashboard will look like, and you want to buy. This is once you have your funds. This is where you can buy the cloud packages. So this is 800 by default, but once you select, if it is the €100, you select this, it changes. You can navigate through based on what you want to, the package you want to buy. You can navigate, and if you want to buy any of these packages, of course you can. If this is the hardware, if you want to buy the hardware, you can go ahead to buy the hardware. That is after you would have deposited your funds. So you go to deposit. There are multiple ways to deposit. I prefer Litecoin because that's what I use. You can even see it from here. I use Litecoin, and it was so fast. So you can deposit using Litecoin, Eurocoin. If you have Ethereum, BCH, BTC legacy address, because BTC has 2 different addresses. Once you are done, once it reflects, you go to shop. And you make your purchase. Once you make your purchase, it will take like 24 hours for the miner to begin its work. That's according to the information I had. So I have bought mine. I'm waiting for my 24 hours to see how it plays out. The ball is in your court. So whatever your question is, you can let me know. Oh yeah, it's easy to withdraw. The same way you deposited, you withdraw. Their system is designed such that it is decentralized.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay,
Hello.
so I wanted to ask, how long has this coin been in existence?
How long? According to the roadmap, the coin was listed about 3 months ago.
Yeah, so I was asking, How long have they been in existence? When was the coin
The
created?
project, okay, I don't know if you are following the slide, but let me show you the roadmap. Where was I? I've opened a whole lot of pages here. I may be lost. Goodness. Hey, matter don't met me. Oh. Okay.
Click the arrow beside the
Okay, I have it here. I have it. Yes. So okay, this is even a different slide. There are multiple slides. I just wanted to use the one that is easier and wouldn't take much time. You see, we didn't see all of this. We didn't see all of this. We didn't see this as well. This is a different slide with different levels of information. And let me pick this one. Okay, this is the one we used. Okay, so the Uniswap listing was done in the first quarter of 2021. So that is when the coin came to the market. Are you okay now? Hello, Pascal. I don't know. I think it's network from. Apart from Uniswap, they are going to list on Pancake Swap. Thomas, aside from Uniswap, they're going to list on Pancake Swap as well.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
But if your question has to do with the cost of purchasing on Uniswap, I think Ethereum gas fees have been reduced, so you don't have to be afraid. But Pascal, are you clear? Okay, since Pascal is still out of reach, let me get back to Linda's question with respect to withdrawal. Sorry. Like you see here, once you select the coin, that is in the form of what you want to withdraw it. You are not limited. Once you select whatever amount, the address you want to withdraw to, you select the address you want to withdraw to. It goes there automatically. It is a decentralized system. So you don't need a confirmation from ZENIQ to be able to withdraw your mined tokens. And the only disclaimer you would need to pay attention to is the one you see here. To cover network cost, a withdrawal fee will be deducted from the withdrawal amount, which of course it is part of financial transactions. Large withdrawals could be manually verified and split into multiple transactions. So these are the disclaimers. The exchange rate is fixed at the time of withdrawal request. So these are the disclaimers you need to get concern yourself with when it happens that you want to perform any withdrawal. Are we good? So there's Litecoin, say $5, and I place my Litecoin address right here, and I withdraw, and I'm done. That's how the whole system is designed. And of course, not everybody is interested in referral aspects. It comes with referral, where if you refer somebody, you get a commission. I have not really taken time to look into the referral aspect, but once I'm done with that and I get full grasp of it, I probably will share the same information with you all as well, so we know how that one also can be of a benefit to those who would want to take the referral aspect. But what I know basically is that whether you've bought a package or you've not bought a package, the referral has nothing to do with the coin and the mining. It has nothing to do with it. So even when you've not bought a package and you refer somebody to the system, the referral commission will be paid out. It's instantaneously to you. So think that one, those who are interested into networking can take advantage of it. For those who are not interested, you just do your mining and mint your tokens and expect to make your profits going forward. Okay. Is it so far? So for instance, I bought the 100 euro package. It will mine till 20 years. Yes, that is the cycle of the mining. And there's no like servicing fee or something. It's like it's a master node. It's like you have deposited your coin in a staking pool. Until the staking pool runs dry, it won't end. That's the same thing you are seeing here, but this is on a higher level because this is not a staking pool, this is a master node. Exactly, it's a money machine. It's a money machine. That's why it's a gold mine. All right. So it's a crypto ATM, of course. So how you want to handle it is dependent on your understanding with whatever has been shared. And for me, I believe I've done my best of sharing the information with you as per what I have been able to uh, dig out based on my research. Of course, you can do more if you have the time to also read, and we all see together where the eagles fly. So, is there any other question? If there are no questions, I think I've spent over an hour, almost. Okay, that's a little bit above 1 hour, so I think that's cool. I was able to work within time. If there's no question, then we'll call it a section. Whatever information there is, I will send it to the community. Then we can all have access to it as per how we want to go about this. If there's any challenge, of course, we are in a community, so it shouldn't be a problem to reach out to ask your questions. And when I'm opportune and I'm available, I'll answer all of those questions with respect to whatever has been shared here. And I believe once Kelvin is also on the call, I know Kelvin and I believe Kelvin so much. Kelvin will do his due diligence, and whenever there's a challenge, Kelvin would be able to also sort you guys out. Let me read some of the comments. Yes, the video. I'll send a video. I'll send a video on how to purchase. I'll send it. I say if Jesus tarries, then money go flow. Of course, Linda. Can you withdraw anytime? Yes, you can withdraw anytime. Once the coin is minted per day, you can withdraw and spend it. But my advice, don't go and eat your eggs before they hatch. I beg you. The idea is that it becomes a gold mine and not just a regular cash flow. All right. So guys, that's it. I think the comments are keeping me in a different mood now. I am unable to hold myself. You say that? Yes, but let's keep making cash and preparing any time for. Oh, of course, we will prepare, and we are still preparing. So, guys, thank you all for your time and for giving the listening ear. I think we have so far we have 14 persons on the call. We have Ralph, we have Thomas, we have Linda from Bahrain, Ralph Ghana, Thomas Ghana, Linda Bahrain. That's close to Dubai. Oh, so Linda, this is close to home. Yeah, this is close to home. So Linda from Bahrain, Cornelius from Ghana, Godson. I think Godson is also from Ghana, Joseph Ghana, Kwaju Ghana. Also, so the Ghana squad is more here. Kevin Ghana, Kingsley Ghana, legend. I don't know. Probably, I'm not too sure. And Norms also Ghana. Pascal is a foreigner. Pascal, go to your hometown. And we have Terenzio also Ghana. All right, so guys, have a wonderful evening, and we would all meet where the eagles fly.